He said he was out with the guys. But his friend posted a group photo, and he wasn't in it. I commented, "Strange, I thought he was with you." 10 minutes later, I got a text that said, "Can we talk?" I didn't reply. I'm a 34-year-old woman living in Fort Worth, Texas. I work as a dental assistant and have been in that field for the last 11 years. I'm steady, I don't live outside my means, and I'm not someone who likes drama. But somehow, drama found me anyway. Tyler and I were together for almost 5 years. He's 36, works HVAC repair, grew up in Waco but moved here about 10 years ago. We met at a barbecue that a friend of mine threw, just one of those summer backyard things with beer, cornhole, and country music playing too loud. He was there because he knew my friend's husband. We got paired up during a beanbag game and ended up talking most of the night. He had this crooked smile that made you feel like you were in on some secret. And when he laughed, he really laughed. I remember thinking he felt different from the guys I'd dated before. Not flashy, not trying too hard. Just solid, grounded. Funny. I fell for him way too fast. We moved in together about a year after that. Got a 2-bedroom duplex off Camp Bowie. Nothing fancy, but it had a little fenced yard and enough space for our 2 dogs, Bear and Daisy. Things were good, for a while. We did all the couple stuff. Weekend grocery runs, binging shows, fighting over thermostat settings, road trips to Austin, and lazy Sundays doing yard work together. Tyler wasn't perfect. He could be moody. He got short-tempered when things didn't go his way. He hated being wrong. But I'm not perfect either, and I figured, who is? We had love, or so I thought. I wasn't looking for fireworks every day. I just wanted someone who had my back. Someone I could build a life with. And for a long time, I thought he was that person. But things started changing about 6 months ago. It started small. He started working more, or that's what he said. Extra hours, he'd say, or late call out. I didn't think much of it at first. We could always use the extra money. Then I noticed the phone. He started taking his phone into the bathroom. Started sleeping with it under his pillow. If it buzzed, he'd pick it up immediately. I caught him texting late one night when he thought I was asleep. He turned the screen away from me so fast you'd think it had caught fire. When I asked who he was talking to, he said, "It's just one of the guys from work. Chill out. Just one of the guys." That became his excuse for everything. That and "you're being paranoid." Then there was the cologne. Tyler's never been a cologne guy. He wore deodorant, sure, but that was about it. Then one night he came home smelling like something fruity and musky, not cheap either. Not anything I'd ever smelled on him before. New deodorant, he said when I sniffed him. He couldn't even look me in the eye when he said it. So, yeah, I started watching closer. Started paying attention to the little lies. They added up. One on top of another, like bricks in a wall he was building to keep me out. Then last Saturday happened. He told me he was going out with the guys. Supposed to be poker night at Rick's house. Rick was one of his best friends, and we double dated with him and his wife plenty of times. So I didn't question it. I didn't want to be that girlfriend. The one who doesn't let her man have a night out. I even packed him a little to-go bag of snacks and his favorite beer before he left. Told him to have fun. He kissed me goodbye, told me he loved me. I watched him pull out of the driveway at 6:03 p.m. By 9:30, I was sitting on the couch scrolling Instagram. I saw Rick had posted a story. Group photo. Looked like it was taken at Buffalo Brothers. All the guys were there. Rick, Aaron, Jason, even Daniel, who just had a baby last month and barely gets out anymore. But Tyler wasn't in the picture. At first, I thought maybe he took the photo. I waited. Clicked through the next few stories. Nothing. Then I went to Rick's profile. Checked his last few posts. Same thing, photos of the guys at the bar. Everyone tagged. Still no Tyler. My chest got tight. You know that sinking feeling when your gut confirms what your brain's been trying to deny? I didn't even think. I just commented under Rick's post. "Strange, I thought he was with you." I left it there like a grenade. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. One text. Can we talk? That's all it said. No explanation. No apology. Just a panicked attempt to get ahead of whatever fallout he knew was coming. I stared at it for a long time. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. I thought about everything, our history, our home, our dogs, the life we were supposed to build together. Then I locked the screen and put my phone down. Didn't reply. Not that night. Not the next morning either. He didn't come home. When I woke up the next day, I fed the dogs, took a long shower, and sat on the back porch with a cup of coffee. The air felt different. Like the world had shifted. Like something heavy had finally cracked open. It wasn't until 11:30 that he walked in. He looked wrecked, hair messy, shirt wrinkled, face pale. He looked like someone who'd been out all night running from the truth. He stood in the doorway like he didn't know whether to come in or turn back around. I didn't say anything. Finally, he muttered, "I didn't mean to lie." "Where were you?" I asked, my voice flat. No answer. "Was it her?" I asked again. He looked at the floor, then gave the smallest nod. That was all I needed. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just picked up my keys, put on my shoes, and left. I drove straight to my sister Amber's place in Denton. She opened the door and saw my face and didn't ask a single question. Just pulled me into a hug and said, "Whatever it is, we'll handle it." That's when the plan started forming. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to slash his tires or set his clothes on fire. That's not my style. No. I was going to take my time. I was going to make sure he felt the weight of what he threw away. I stayed at Amber's for 3 days before I said anything to him. Not a word. He called. He texted. Left voicemails. They all said the same kind of crap. "I'm sorry. It didn't mean anything. It was just once." And then my favorite one, "You're overreacting." That's when I knew he still didn't get it. So I went back home. Quietly. While he was at work. I didn't pack everything. I wanted him to think I was still unsure. That maybe I was still hurting too much to decide. I left my hair straightener, a few shirts in the closet, my favorite mug on the kitchen counter. But what I really came back for was control. We had a joint checking and savings account. Always had. He wasn't good with money. I paid the rent, the utilities, handled the groceries. I'd saved up most of what was in there. That account had about $12,000 in it. Almost all of that came from me. I opened a new account in my name only and moved $10,500 into it. Left just enough for him to cover next month's bills. I wasn't out to destroy him financially. I wanted him to feel it, not fall apart. I wanted him to know I was done playing nice. Then I logged into our streaming accounts, Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, the Amazon Prime tied to my email, and locked him out of everything. Changed all the passwords, removed the TV in the living room from every device list. I even wiped the smart home settings so his voice wouldn't trigger anything anymore. Then came the final piece. And then, silence. For almost 2 days. I guess he needed time to sit in the mess he made. I thought it would end there, but it didn't. That Thursday, Amber called me from work. "You're not gonna like this," she said. "But I think you need to know." She sent me a screenshot. Tyler's new girl had posted a story. Her Instagram was public. She was one of those girls who documents every second of her life. And there he was, Tyler. Sitting next to her on a bar patio in Arlington, his arm around her shoulders. Smiling, laughing, like nothing ever happened. She captioned it, "Finally found a man who's worth it 2 hearts." I stared at it for a long time. He moved on. Or at least pretended to. Just like that. Not even 2 weeks since he got caught, and he was out living his new life like 5 years of mine didn't even matter. Amber was furious. "You want me to key his car?" "Because I will." But I had a different idea. "See, Tyler's new girl? Her name's JC. She's 25. Works at the Ulta off Hullen. And guess who came in for a cleaning 6 months ago and wouldn't stop talking about her kind of boyfriend who did HVAC and was between apartments at the time? Yup. JC. She had no idea I was with him. None. That's when the second plan started forming. I wasn't done yet. I sat on that Instagram story for a full day. I didn't want to do anything out of rage. I wanted it to hit harder. This wasn't about just breaking them up. This was about truth. About making sure he couldn't lie his way into another fresh start while pretending I was the crazy ex who just couldn't let go. So I messaged JC. I kept it simple at first. No emotion. No name calling. Hey, I think we need to talk about Tyler. She saw it within minutes. Left me on read. No reply. I waited. For hours later, she sent back, LOL, who even are you? Fair enough. So I followed up. I sent her screenshots. Photos. The group pic from Rick's story. My comment. Tyler's text. Then one of him and I from just 6 weeks earlier, at my cousin's birthday dinner. He had his arm around me, cake on his lip, grinning like a fool. This time, she didn't ignore it. What the F **** is this? I told her everything. Dates, names, locations. I even told her about how he lied to me that night he claimed he was with the guys. I told her about the joint account, the dogs, his damn favorite mug. I painted the full picture. She didn't respond right away. Then an hour later, she messaged again. He told me y'all broke up months ago. That you were unstable. I laughed out loud in Amber's kitchen when I read that. Unstable? I'd kept that man fed, loved, and afloat for 5 years. When his dad died, I was the one who held him up. When he lost his job in 2022, I carried both of us for 3 months. And I was the unstable one? Nah, JC was mad. You could feel it through the screen. She thanked me. Oddly polite, all things considered, and that was it. I didn't hear from her again for 2 days. Then she messaged again. A photo this time. It was of Tyler, sitting outside her place, bags at his feet, looking stunned. She wrote, "Guess you forgot to tell him I had screenshots too." Apparently, she confronted him, right there in her apartment. Called him out, showed him everything I sent. Said she didn't care what his excuses were, she wasn't about to be another woman he'd eventually lie to. She kicked him out. And here's where it gets worse, for him. Tyler didn't have anywhere to go. Not really. He'd been crashing with JC after I left. Hadn't signed a new lease. His name wasn't even on her place. When she booted him, he tried going back to our duplex. But by then, I'd already changed the locks. Legally, I had every right to. His name was never on the lease. He just lived there. That place was mine before him, and it was mine now again. "Please," he said, "I got nowhere else to go." I stood there for a long second, looking at the man I used to sleep next to, eat dinner with, dream about starting a family with. And now here he was, dirty, exhausted, and completely, 100% alone. "You lied," I said. "Not just to me. To her. To everyone." "I know," he said quietly. "I messed up." "No," I said, "you built your life on it. You made me feel crazy for asking questions. You made me doubt myself. I'm sorry." "You're sorry because you got caught." He said nothing. Then I stepped out, locked the door behind me, and left him standing there. I drove to Amber's. I didn't need to see what he'd do next. I had one more move to make. See, he wasn't just sleeping with JC. He had someone else too. Yeah, I found her. Accidentally. Through a Venmo history that he never set to private. But that's a whole other part of this story. And if you think what I've done so far was cold, you haven't seen what comes next. So here's how I found the other woman. Tyler and I used to split bills using Venmo. I'd send him my half of utilities. He'd pay the internet. That kind of thing. A few weeks back, I went in to grab some old records for my taxes and saw he'd never set his profile to private. Rookie mistake. I wasn't even looking for anything. Not really. But something caught my eye. He'd sent a payment to someone named Mara L. The note said, "Thanks for dinner." It was dated 2 weeks before the night he told me he was out with the guys. I clicked her profile. Her bio said she was a bartender. Worked at a place called Barrel and Brew over in Arlington. Her page was full of drink pics, shots of her and coworkers at late-night diners, blurry dance floor selfies. No photos of Tyler. But then I spotted one. A mirror selfie, her sitting in the passenger seat of a very familiar black F-150. The same Lucky Dice charm hanging from the rearview mirror. His dice. So I messaged her. Did I feel crazy doing it? Sure, but I was already too deep into the wreckage to stop now. I sent her the same thing I sent JC. Timeline. Screenshots. Facts. She took longer to respond. When she finally did, it was short. Wow. I had no idea. Then a second message. He told me he was single. That he'd just gotten out of something toxic. There it was again. Toxic. The word he used like a bandage for every lie. Every woman he hurt, he painted her out to be unstable, emotional, possessive. Meanwhile, he was the one collecting women like backup plans. She told me they'd been seeing each other off and on for about 4 months. That he'd show up late, never sleep over. Always had an excuse. Always left her wondering. You should know, she said. He told me he was serious about me. Just last week. That was all I needed. Tyler wasn't just a cheater. He was a full-blown con man. Playing 3 women at once, maybe more. Smiling to our faces while lying through his teeth. So I made a group chat. Me, JC, and Mara. I said, thought you two should meet. Looks like we have something in common. JC replied first. Unbelievable. Then Mara, are you kidding me? We talked for an hour. Shared stories, receipts, lies we'd all been fed. JC had bought him clothes. Mara had loaned him money. I'd let him drive my car when his truck broke down. The stories all overlapped. The same phrases. The same excuses. Work's been crazy. Just need some space. My ex messed me up. Like he had a script. And that's when we made the decision. We weren't going to yell at him. We weren't going to trash him online. We weren't even going to block him. We were going to leave him right where he was, alone, confused, and wondering which bridge burned him the worst. Mara posted that group selfie first. Caption, Queens don't cry over clowns. JC followed with one of her own, her and me clinking wine glasses. Caption, turns out the real glow-up is friendship and truth. Cheers to the women who refuse to stay fooled. The next day, Tyler messaged me. Why are you doing this? You're trying to ruin me. I didn't reply. JC got one too. This is childish. Grow up. She blocked him. Mara got the nastiest one. He called her a backstabbing B******H and said she never meant anything anyway. She posted that message, unedited, public, tagging his full name. I didn't even know she was going to do that. But I won't lie. I smiled when I saw it. And here's the kicker. 2 days later, Amber sent me a screenshot of a Facebook post from a local women's group. One woman warned others about a man who'd lied to her, used her for money, and turned out to have multiple girlfriends. She even included a blurry photo from the bar. And sure enough, it was Tyler. Word was spreading. Fast. And Tyler? He was unraveling. He showed up at my door again. This time, he looked like he hadn't slept in days. His eyes were red, hair a mess, like life had finally started treating him the way he treated the people in it. I didn't answer. Just watched through the peephole. He sat there for an hour. Then he left. I thought that would be the end of it. But I was wrong. Because Tyler didn't go away quietly. He went in my job. It was a Tuesday afternoon when it happened. I was at work, halfway through a cleaning on a sweet old lady, when our receptionist, Carla, came back to whisper in my ear. There's a guy up front asking for you. Says it's urgent. My heart sank. I knew it had to be him. I took a deep breath, pulled off my gloves, and went to the lobby. There he was. Tyler. In wrinkled jeans, looking like he hadn't showered in 2 days. Eyes wild. Hands stuffed deep into his jacket pockets like he was trying to hold himself together. People were staring. Patients. My coworkers. Everybody. He took a few steps toward me. He was desperate. "You told everyone," he said, louder now. People in the waiting room froze. "You ruined my life." Carla stepped up beside me. "Sir, if you don't leave, we'll have to call the cops." He looked around. At the old woman in the corner clutching her purse. At the receptionist typing with wide eyes. At the hygienist peeking out of the hallway. Everyone was watching. Everyone knew. He took one step back. Shaking. Defeated. "You were supposed to love me," he said, voice breaking. I didn't move. "You were supposed to respect me," I said, clear and steady. "But you lied. Over and over. You played 3 women like fools. You don't get respect after that. You get consequences." His shoulders sagged. He didn't say anything else. Just turned and walked out the door, his head down. That was the last time I ever saw him in person. In the weeks that followed, the full truth kept leaking out. Turns out, Tyler wasn't just lying about the women. He'd borrowed money from friends, too. Told one buddy he needed a loan to fix his truck, used it to take JC out on dates. He lied to his boss about why he missed work. Got caught sleeping in the break room one night when he had no place to stay. He lost his job by the end of that month. Word spreads fast in a town like Fort Worth. Everyone knew. His friends stopped answering his calls. Even Rick, the one who posted the original group photo, cut him off. Said he couldn't be around someone who dragged everybody down. JC moved on fast. Last I heard, she's dating someone new. Good for her. Mara got a promotion at work, and she and I still meet up sometimes for margaritas. As for me, I finally moved out of the duplex. Got a new apartment across town. Smaller, but all mine. I changed my number. Blocked every possible way Tyler could reach me. I kept Bear and Daisy, the dogs. They were never his to begin with. They're my family. And now? Now I sleep better. Now I wake up knowing that I didn't lose anything. He did. He lost me. He lost JC. He lost Mara. His job. His home. His friends. His reputation. All because he couldn't tell the truth. And I learned something important. Sometimes the best revenge isn't screaming or fighting. Sometimes it's walking away so clean, they choke on the dust you leave behind. And never looking back.